and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And we have reached the Copa del Rey final, beating Valencia tonight, beating them on aggregate, and we will be facing Sevilla in the Spanish Cup final. Tonight was about two things for me. One incredible moment from Philippe Coutinho off the bench, and the perfect start to his Barcelona career. He is off the mark for goals, and an absolutely unbelievable save down the other end from Jasper Cillessen. One of the best saves I've seen in a long time. Really, it looked like Ter Stegen in the goal. It was that good tonight from Cillessen. Really impressive from the whole team. The first half was, stop-start. It was us getting into the groove. The second half, we'd seen so many times from Valverde's teams. We hit Valencia with everything we had. Iniesta brilliant, Busquets brilliant, Messi pulling the strings on the night, Rakitić getting the other goal. 2-0, we've beaten Valencia tonight. We are into the final, and we're going to be discussing all that and more in today's review video. But we do start with Ernesto Valverde's selection. In the preview video prior to this game, I did say that I personally wouldn't have risked Piqué, I wouldn't have risked Iniesta. I just don't want any injuries before that massive Chelsea game. Instead, though, Valverde decided to name both of those players in the starting lineup, and also Andre Gomes at the right of midfield. And I kind of felt like Valverde would do that. Gomes back from injury, he comes into the team and he plays him straight away. And I wasn't impressed tonight with Gomes, and I don't think Valverde was either. It really was a first half to forget. There was a few times he was dispossessed very easily. He was giving away silly fouls. There was even a moment in that first half when he had the ball just outside our own box and he passed it straight to the on-rushing Valencia player, which could have easily led to a goal for Valencia on the night. But Gomes, taken off at half-time, really didn't enjoy a good first half, and he was very poor, unfortunately, on the night. But Valencia started the game quickly. Jordi Alba was fouled inside the first 20 seconds by Simone Zaza, and that basically outlined what Valencia wanted to do. They wanted to start quickly, get the fans behind them, and for all of that first half, to be perfectly honest, they were probably the better team. We had all of the ball, we were dominating possession, territorially, we were mostly in their half, but when they did get forward, when they eventually got the ball, when they were breaking at us, they did look dangerous, they did threaten us. Cillessen was forced into quite a few saves, not all of them difficult ones, but he had to stop them. They hit the bar, of course. Rodrigo Moreno hitting the bar with about 15 or so minutes gone. He rose above Piqué, a fantastic header to be fair, cannoned off the crossbar. So Valencia could have very easily taken the lead in this game. Thankfully they didn't. Thankfully we kept it at 0-0 throughout the first half. There was so many fouls on Lionel Messi right throughout that half. There was a lot of pulling of his shirts. Even Coquelin at one point tried to fully remove Messi's shirt. Somehow that didn't even result in a free kick. The refereeing in that first half was questionable. I don't think he clamped down on the number of fouls on Messi. Valencia really were flying into challenges. Coquelin in that midfield, Parejo as well. The two centre-backs were really getting involved, but not an awful lot done about it. Luis Suarez had a few sighters in that first half. He was played in by Iniesta at one point. His touch let him down on that occasion. He was played in as well, a few times, and he was just offside. So Suarez in that first half didn't really get a lot of the ball, didn't really have a chance to make an impact. That all changed for sure in the second half. But in the first half for me, it was all about that midfield, and in particular, Iniesta and Sergio Busquets. Two absolutely sensational first half performances. Sergio Busquets, ice cool, phenomenally good on the ball, taking his time, sucking up the pressure, soaking it all in, and doing what he does best. Iniesta, just brilliant. Absolutely marvellous. And that's why, to be honest, I can understand why Valverde maybe wouldn't want to rest Iniesta, simply because he is still, even at the age that he is, even playing the amount of games that he is, clearly he is tiring, but he's still sensational. He is still an absolutely unbelievable player. He runs rings around most players out on that pitch, and it was really vintage Iniesta once again. But like I say, that first half, Valencia were threatening. I think Valverde at halftime felt like he needed to change something. If we didn't do that, maybe Valencia would get more of the initiative. They had Guedes on the bench, of course. They had players like Soler who could come on and make an impact, and luckily Valverde acted quickly. He took off Gomes at halftime, he brought on Coutinho. I still don't feel like that's the best position for Coutinho on that right hand side. We did sort of change formation a few times in that second half, but we did start primarily with Coutinho on that right hand side, and to be fair to him, it took him just 4 minutes to get on the score sheet and make a massive impact in this game, because we always said if we scored first in this game, Valencia would need 3, which basically means if we were to score first, that was pretty much the tie, all done and dusted, and that's exactly what happened. And I have to say, it was brilliant from Luis Suarez. It really was absolutely excellent, and we'll have a video coming up after this video where I'm actually going to be going through the goals and a lot of the highlights from this match and just breaking them down and analysing them in a bit more detail. So do take a look at that. That'll be coming up after this review video. But it was Suarez with a brilliant run, and I think he did that a lot in the second half. He was running at Gara, he was causing him all kinds of problems. He switches direction very quickly. It's a nice little little dummy. He gets past him, gets into the box, and he just plays a brilliant little lofted ball. Coutinho is there, he's arriving, he's storming in, and you can't really underrate this finish. Yes, it's from close range, but Coutinho's really got a slide, he's got a stretch for this. He just about gets a foot to it, and he puts it back across the keeper. Jaime with no chance. A really good finish from Coutinho, and I was so happy with him because he was so unlucky not to score against Espanyol when he hit the bar. That was a stunning effort, and I was really happy to see him get off the mark with Barcelona. That'll ease some pressure on him now. That'll take a lot of the pressure off his shoulders. He's got a big goal in this game, a game that set us up to reach the final, and Coutinho and Luis Suarez with a massive part in that with some really good play. And to be honest then, Valencia clearly were pushing forward, they were putting more men forward, they were committing more players on the charge, trying to get a goal, kind of find a way back into this game, and to be honest, we should have killed the game a lot sooner. Messi had a few chances, close range efforts that were just about blocked and deflected. Jaime made a good few first saves. There was an Alba shot which hit Montoya's hand, but it could have been argued, it was close enough to be ball to hand. Iniesta then was finally given a rest on 65 minutes. Paulinho coming on, and when he came on, maybe we lost a bit of an element of control. Then it was more like, a ball game which was going from one end to the other, like basketball if you like. One time it was Valencia going forward, trying to get themselves back in it, and then we would have the chance on the break. And to be honest, at times that did suit us a bit better because we did get a bit of freedom with Suarez, with Messi, with Coutinho. Guedes caused some problems for Valencia. He was running at our defence, he was playing some balls into the box, Cillessen having to make some brilliant saves. But I have to say, for me, one of the moments of the game, just like I mentioned at the start of the video, was Jasper Cillessen, and that was a real game-changing moment. I think if Valencia score from this, it's still very unlikely they were going to get back in this game and actually get through it. But still, it was an absolutely monumental stop from Jasper Cillessen in the goal. And it was simple, a ball into the box. I think it's Zaza who heads it down, and one of the players who were attacking for Valencia, and it's Gaia, the left back, who's out there from very close range on the volley. He absolutely hammers it towards goal. And I will be looking at this save in that follow-on video that I'm going to be analysing it, because Cillessen gets out his right hand. It's a really strong right hand. Somehow he stops the ball from going in, and it's an absolutely wonderful save. And I'm really impressed to see Cillessen coming into these kind of games. We know that he doesn't play very often. He mainly plays just the cup competitions, but it's really impressive to see a backup keeper rise into the occasion, and that was an absolutely magnificent stop for me. One of the moments of the game from Jasper Cillessen. But it was Suarez again involved about 10 minutes from time where we finally did kill the game and get that second goal, and it's Suarez again down that left hand side, very similar position to where he assisted Philippe Coutinho. He's persistent, he keeps on dribbling, he gets past the defender again, and this time he just slides it to Rakitić. He's unmarked. Valencia, like I say, throwing a lot of men forward, and to be fair to him, Rakitić has Messi to his right. I thought at first he was going to lay it off to Messi, but he doesn't. He's determined, and I'm glad that he takes on the shot because he can see the goal. He's a good finisher, Rakitić. He's got a good strike on the ball, and that's exactly what he does. It's a really good finish from Rakitić. Very clinical, powerful, and low to the goalkeeper's right. Jaime in the goal has absolutely no chance. That's 2-0, and that for me is absolutely game over. Valencia, no chance, and we are then, of course, in the Copa del Rey final. And I think the performance tonight was good. I think in the first half, like I say, Valencia had chance. In the second half, once again, we turned the screw and got the goals that saw us into the final. But if there was one downside for me, it would be about Gerard Piqué, because I am worrying right now what sort of news we're going to hear from the club with regard to his injury, because I was panicking every single time the camera went on Piqué. There was a wince about his face. He didn't look comfortable. He had clearly had strapping on that right knee. It was all strapped up. He didn't look like he was moving particularly freely, and I thought all the way through the game he looked laboured. He looked like he was just trying to get through it, and I was just thinking all the way through this game, did we really need to risk him? Did we really need to put him through this? Maybe he's aggravated that knee now. I really hope that he hasn't done any more damage, because if he does, that Chelsea game, it's really not that far away. If he's done any damage, there's a good chance he's going to be out of that game. So I really hope tonight that Piqué, he's a warrior, he's going to want to play this game, but I just hope he hasn't really aggravated that. Yerry Mina did eventually get on. It was only the last few minutes though. Piqué came off, he went off to the bench, and then you saw him sort of stretching his knee out again. He didn't look too happy. He didn't look like he was, in a lot of comfort. He looked like he was in some pain. So I really just hope that tonight we haven't gambled. Valverde played him. Of course, we kept a clean sheet. We got to the final, but at what expense that was. So hopefully we hear some news, and hopefully some good news. To be honest, no news would be good news on this, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But overall tonight, guys, like I say, we're through to the final of the Copa del Rey. Going away to Valencia, performing in this manner is not an easy thing to do. It was a compact performance. It was controlled. It was disciplined. We did what we had to do. It wasn't brilliant at times. There was some good elements of passing in that first half and that second half. There was two very good goals. And like I say, I'm so happy to see Philippe Coutinho off the mark, his first Barcelona goal. goal, and a really decisive and important goal it was. So leave all your thoughts in your comments down below, guys. What do you think is going to happen with Piqué? Do you think that he's aggravated that injury tonight? Do you think that we should have risked him in hindsight for this game? And obviously let me know your thoughts on the performance. What do you think of Coutinho coming on and scoring in the way he did? What do you think of Gomez's performance in that first half? I know a lot of people were very unhappy with Gomez, and also Luis Suarez played a big part in 2 of the goals, was very good in that second half. Let me know all your thoughts and your comments down below, guys, and like I say, do keep a lookout for that video which will be coming after this one, looking at the goals and looking at the highlights in a lot more detail with some video footage in the background. So I'll see you soon for that video, but until then, as always, we are going to the final. Vasca! El Barça!